start the. Oh, alrighty. And then let me get to my slides. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys. Let me see here. And we did like a trial. I did a trial one with my grandma the other night. So I'm hoping it goes well. Can you guys still hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Interesting. It's not coming out.
I'm going to stay muted because my dog likes to bark at the leaves and the wind and whatever. So,
Yeah,
oh, that's beautiful. Is that you?
that was my wedding photo.
Oh my God, that's gorgeous.
So pretty.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
When did you get married?
In 2018.
Oh, well, congratulations. That's wonderful.
Yeah, thank you. That's my husband, Adrian. We got married at the Hispanic Cultural Center. So that's where that location is right there.
Oh,
nice.
lovely.
Nice.
Yes. Okay, so let me get the presentation going. Can you guys see this?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
So I briefly talked with a few of you, and I realized that a lot of you are very active and you participate in a whole bunch of things, which is absolutely amazing. And I know that, like, you know, just from knowing my grandma, she's very active and does a lot of different things throughout the day. And so that's great. And as occupational, so let me give you the background. So I'm in occupational therapy assistant school. I will graduate this December. And so one of the classes that I'm currently taking is aging. It's an aging course. And so I'm pretty much learning how older adults and aging, kind of how occupational therapy fits into that world. And so for my final project, I have to just present to some individuals who are a little bit older. And so this is just an informative presentation. I didn't want to choose you guys just because you're older. I just wanted to, you know, be able to kind of get my foot in the door and start practicing my presentations, because eventually this is something that I could be doing if I choose to work with the geriatric population. I haven't quite decided which direction I'm going. But so just a little bit of background there. So this presentation is going to be over home modifications and aging in place. And so I realize that a lot of you probably are, like I said, very active. There's not a whole lot of concerns that you might have at this time. It sounds like a lot of you are pretty healthy. I mean, a lot of you are pretty healthy. I didn't fully get to ask how you guys are doing personally. But that's kind of something that we're going to just talk a little bit about here. Are you guys familiar with occupational therapy? Does anybody not know what occupational
Yes,
therapy
I am. I know. Yeah,
Great. What
I
about
do.
student
Okay.
studies?
Can you go over it and explain a little bit about it?
Absolutely. So it is similar to physical therapy, where we're kind of looking at the individual as a whole, but physical therapy works on the body's function. So occupational therapy also works on body function. Like if you don't have full range of motion in your arm, if you're not able to fully extend your arm, we can work on things like that alongside the physical therapist. However, our main goal is to work on allowing you to participate in everyday activities and occupations. And when I say occupations, I mean the things that you do every single day. What is your day
Are
like?
you going to get us a job?
I totally could. I think the main thing from this presentation that I want you guys to take home is that I want you to be able, you know, maybe you're not concerned with how you're doing right now, but maybe you have some friends that might
Okay.
benefit from some of this information and you can pass it along to them. Or maybe later on down the road, hopefully you can kind of remember this presentation and reference it. Or you can, you know, you can always reach out to my grandma or to me and say, hey, remember when you did that? So that's kind of the goal of this presentation. Not to fix you or modify anything today, but just, you know, for for friends, family members, or maybe down the future when you actually need the help. Hopefully not, but you know, as we age, our bodies just tend to take its course. Um, so anyways, so occupational therapy in the geriatric population, we really work on being able to help you participate in everyday occupations. So that means being able to help you continue to cook, continue to clean, continue to garden, continue to go to bingo, if those are things that you like. If you're having challenges with any of those areas, that's where we help you problem solve so that we can help you live out your day and your life to the fullest. Does that kind of give a good background of what OT or occupational therapy is in this setting?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I kind of just briefly talked about what occupational therapy is. But so within this particular presentation, I'm focusing on home modifications and aging in place. So aging in place, a lot of individuals, as they get older, they want to stay in their homes, and that's amazing. We're here to try and help you stay in your homes. We realize that as time goes on and our bodies age, things might change. And so we want to help you adapt to that change or modify those changes so that you can continue to do the things that you love. So if you each would just kind of think about, is there anything that you have challenges with right now in participating in any of those activities that you enjoy doing? And you don't have to list them, just kind of, you know, is there one thing that you're like, man, I really wish I could still participate in that activity, but I might have challenges because my hands hurt, or maybe it's because I get really tired and, you know, I just can't do that anymore. So if you just kind of think to yourself, if there's anything out there that you think, I really wish I could still do this, or maybe I want to try something new, but I don't know how my body's going to react to it. So just keep that in mind as we go through this. So home modifications, as an occupational therapist, we would go into the home and we would look at how your home is set up. We want to make sure that you are staying safe, that you're able to be independent and not have to rely on individuals, and that, you know, when you're able to stay in your own home, typically individuals tend to thrive. They're able to do a lot better, keep up with their health. Whereas, you know, being able, you know, if you have to go into a nursing home setting, sometimes those settings aren't so good on the mental health portion of it. So kind of staying in home or aging in place is overall very beneficial for an individual as we age. And so the goal here, if you guys, you know, if you choose to, and if you desire to continue to live in your own home for as long as possible, occupational therapists can help you do that. Do you guys have any questions so far? Sometimes I ramble.
Mm-mm.
Okay, perfect. So I have a little activity. Many of you might be familiar with some of these different equipment. Adaptive equipment is something that we provide, or that I can, you know, we can talk about some of the things, like you can go purchase little things if money is a problem, because sometimes individuals can't afford specific adaptive equipment. So then we would tell you how else you can kind of create your own adaptive equipment. Adaptive equipment is kind of things that help you participate in those everyday activities. So are you guys familiar with either of these items right here? Can somebody tell me what they are?
Those are grab.
That's the grabber.
Okay. And what about on it's my right, but not the yellow one, but what's the other thing?
Mm,
Are you gonna catch a dog?
It looks like that, huh? All right.
I have no idea what that one is.
That grabber is called a reaching stick. It
Mhm.
pretty much, you know, it sounds like you guys know what that is. It lets you reach things that are up high. It allows you to pick stuff off the floor. For individuals that might have challenges bending over, or, you know, maybe it's that you're just a little bit shorter, so you can't reach those top things. It does a lot
Mhm.
of really great things. This hook here at the end, can you see my mouse?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that hook right there allows you, you can hook it onto certain things like socks. Like if you couldn't bend down to put on your sock, you could loop it into your sock and pull it up. This reacher, most of them also have a magnetic hook. So if like you dropped your keys and you couldn't bend down, then you can get your reacher, hit, get the magnetic hook and clip it onto the keys and bring it up to you. This is a dressing stick. This allows, for individuals that might lose function in parts of their body. So if somebody had a stroke, or if somebody just has really bad arthritis, and they're losing function in one side of their body, this dressing stick right here allows you to be able to get dressed in the morning, be able to put on your coat right there without having to physically move your arm about. So those are two really nice adaptive equipment that are fairly cheap. All of these items that I'm showing you today, you can purchase on Amazon. And again, it's just more informative than anything. This is not a plate. I'm sorry, the picture is a little bit deceiving, but do any of you know what these are in specific? I know that those are spoons, fork, and knife, but what's different about it?
The thick handles,
Yeah, do you know why?
so that people with arthritis have can grab or grip their eating utensils easier and not have them slip. And they have a rubber kind of surface, so they are easily held.
Yes, absolutely. And what about this blue thing right here? Does anyone want to take a stab at that?
Yeah, that's a frisbee. No.
It's like a frisbee. All right. So it is called a diving mat, and what it does is it prevents your bowl from sliding.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. That's also really helpful. Like if somebody has Parkinson's or arthritis, and you're a little bit shaky, you don't want to. You can, when you put a cutting board on there or something, you want to make sure that you're not going to slip everything. Have everything slip from under you. So that is just a little sticky mat. And I think it was Terry that said the spoon, fork, and knife. You're correct. Those are really nice. Spoon stuff that the individuals with arthritis can use, or maybe it's individuals that have a hard time gripping because they lost function in a part of their hand or their arm due to a stroke, something like that. They could easily get these on off of Amazon. They do provide a grip. They also have that bumpy stuff, so it makes individuals more aware that there's something in their hand. It kind of alerts their tactile sensory system and saying, hey, you're holding onto something. And so that is a cheap way to go about this is taking a pool noodle and cutting it and wrapping it around the utensils that you have in your home right now. That's a really cheap way to create your own adaptive fork, knife, and spoon. What about these things? Does anyone have an idea what
That's a sponge. That's a back scrubber.
Okay.
For the shower or the tub.
This guy.
No clue.
Is that a needle threader?
That's a good guess. So what this, this
Oh, look at that.
sponge again.
Oh, it's a button. Yeah, look at that.
Button.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Exactly. So for individuals that want to participate, and a lot of it, if somebody's having a stroke, if somebody has muscle in their arm, if they have arthritis really, really bad, they want to be able to participate and get dressed in the morning, but they might not know how, or they might not be able to. So this button hook allows them to do it themselves without having to use their fingers the way we typically would. The same thing with the long handle sponge. For individuals that have a knee or a hip replacement, they cannot, initially they can't bend. So this allows them to wash their feet, wash their legs, wash their back. And so that, whoever's helping take care of them doesn't necessarily have to be all up in their space while they're getting ready.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, and then the last two, anyone have ideas on what these are? They're pretty self-explanatory, these ones.
Well, I know one is a pill holder.
Mhm.
Okay.
The other one's a chili chopper.
The
That's
other
a
one,
good one.
yeah.
So this is
I was
called
close.
a knife.
Oh, okay.
A rocking knife allows an individual to be able to cut their meat in specific, but also veggies, without having to pick it up. So an individual that has really bad arthritis, or that is, doesn't have any hand strength, they aren't going to be able to pick up a knife. They have to, they're going to have to use the motion of walking back and forth versus picking it up. This knife allows them to do that. This pillbox has a nice alarm. So for individuals that might be having some memory problems, you set your alarm to tell you when you're going to need to take your pills, and it's a great reminder so that
Yeah.
if you're worried about a friend who forgets to take their pills, maybe this is something beneficial for them so that they're taking them. This is good for individuals that have late onset of Alzheimer's, but the later stages, obviously, it's not going to work for somebody like that. But other different kinds of memory problems and things like that, if it's just, I just forget, then of course that would be a nice equipment for them. So that was kind of just a few of the things that occupational therapists kind of present and problem solve and provide to individuals that might need further assistance to participate in everyday occupations. There's a whole list of things. I just kind of picked out the ones that I could think of off the top of my head without going into full detail. So aside from providing adaptive equipment, the other things that we could provide are home modifications. And what that looks like is, there's a whole bunch of things. It can be installing grab bars in your bathrooms so that you make sure you can hold on to something while you're getting ready, or ensuring that there's brighter lighting. Some individuals, they might, be at more of a fall risk. So providing brighter lights in the home is really important. Of course, adjustable ramps. I'm sure you guys have all seen my grandparents' house. It's a fall risk for a lot of individuals that are older. There's so many stairs. So an occupational therapist would not be happy in their home because of all the stairs. So thinking about a ramp that could be installed later on, or a portable ramp, that would be something that they would have to consider if they were experiencing any issues. Thank God they're not. So those are just some of the home modifications that an occupational therapist can recommend to be implemented into a person's home so that they can continue to live there safely. The way to determine home modifications, typically if an individual has a stroke or has a diagnosis or has a problem, they go into the hospital and they get whatever needs to happen taken care of. And then an occupational therapist will typically provide some treatment in the hospital. At discharge, what will happen is the occupational therapist will typically recommend, if they need further assessment, or if they need occupational therapy at home, then the occupational therapist can say, well, our first visit, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at your house and see how safe it is for you to live there. Especially if they're alone, or if they don't have family that lives close that can help them out. We want to make sure that you're going to be safe living in your home after you have any of the issues that you might have experienced. There's a bunch of different factors that can play into an individual aging in place or being able to continue to stay in their home. Obviously I kind of just mentioned that family, if family lives far away, it can be a little bit more challenging to make that decision to continue to let your mother stay in her home, or a good friend stay in their home. Cultural beliefs, some individuals believe that that's not a good idea. I don't want my loved one to be able to live alone. They're not supposed to be doing that. Or they're supposed to be living in a group home later on in life. Finances is a really huge one. A lot of individuals have the socioeconomic status and the finances to be able to live in their home. especially with some of that equipment that they might need. So a ramp could potentially be very pricey, and they might have a lot of stairs like my grandparents have. So that would be something that would really impact them. And so an individual who doesn't have the finances might have to move out for that reason. Also a dual diagnosis. So what that means is having two different diagnoses at the same time. So an individual that might have a stroke, but might also have bipolar disorder, or who might have Alzheimer's. They might be able to live in home with the stroke, but with that Alzheimer's, as it continues to progress, that could be really challenging, and that individual might not be able to continue to live at home, especially. And then unsafe environments. Unfortunately, there's a lot of abuse of individuals that are aging. It's something that, as a whole, the therapies, physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech and language pathology, as a whole, we're aware that individuals who are aging are more susceptible to abuse. It's very unfortunate, but that, individuals like caretakers, they might be kind of abusive. Somebody that lives in the home might be abusing them. So we want to make sure that they're not going to be abused when they go back to their home. So that is just some of the factors that can kind of influence an individual and kind of continuing to live in their home independently and safely. And then finally, there's just some resources here within New Mexico that I can send you guys these links if you'd like. And so there's a bunch of different things here that New Mexico offers. One of them, I'm not going to go through all of them because there's quite a bit here, but AARP and AAA have driving and safety resources. So an individual that needs, received occupational therapy in a hospital setting, and then they got discharged and they're like, okay, you're good to go. We're going to provide therapy in your home now. One thing that I look at is, are you able to drive still? AARP and AAA both have driving tests for older individuals. They also have some really awesome resources for like different tips and tricks that individuals can try for, like if you have night blindness, or if you can't really hear all that well. So they kind of provide modifications to your car to help you be more successful in that occupation. The Governor's Commission on Disability and Residential Accessibility Modification Program provides a lot of resources for individuals that can't afford home modifications on their own. So an individual that might need a ramp or might need grab bars installed in their home or their bathroom, things like that, they can provide grants so, in case they don't have insurance, something like that, they would qualify for a grant. There is also, I wanted to touch on, Visiting Angels is a really amazing service. I'm going to see if I can click on it. That is in New Mexico. And they provide a whole bunch of different services, home care services. They will come in and check and kind of make sure that you're doing okay. They'll give you reminders of medications. They'll help you do your laundry, things like that. So if you know somebody that you're kind of concerned about, like right now, I have my other grandmother could really benefit from this service. And this is something that we've been looking in for her. She's having pain in her back, and she's now unstable. She can't fully walk without a walker. So having somebody come in and provide these services was really great. They also provide hospice care and home modifications. So there's a bunch of different services that they will provide. And like I said, I can share this link with you guys if you ever want to look over them, or if you have somebody in mind that you're like, oh, this would really benefit them. I can definitely share that with you. And that is the end of my presentation. Like I said, it was very short, just kind of an informative thing, some of the stuff that I've been learning in school so far. Does anybody have any questions? I'm going to see if I can get out of this.
No,
You're out
you
of
did
there.
a great job.
Thank you,
Wow.
Alex.
Very
That was-
interesting, very
That was
informative.
very informative. Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. I
I don't need any of those services now, but I actually have some people I know that have been complaining that they've been doing all the heavy lifting for this one family member, and they will definitely, I'm going to share that visiting angels with one of my friends because she needs help desperately. She's about to
great. Yeah.
commit area. She's on overload. So that's very good information. I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of what occupational therapy is. We're here to help you guys problem solve. And I'm happy to hear that everybody's doing great right now, and I hope that you continue to do so. But if there ever is that moment, you're not alone, and there's definitely resources out there for you to help continue to be successful in all the things that you enjoy doing. And that's
Yeah.
the goal. Is
Right.
occupational therapy is for you to be able to do that. So that's great. After we get off this Zoom, I will share those resources. I can
Okay.
share a presentation with you, but I can share the resources with you. That way you have them. Yeah. So
And good luck and congratulations with your finals and with your future in this field. I think you'll be fantastic.
thank you.
Great.
I learned a lot today. I think it's very.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, exactly. That was good to
Yeah.
know.
Good.
And I want your phone number. Just kidding.
I want one of those
Oh,
grabbers because I'm not.
I have your grandma's phone number, so that should be sufficient. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Number
Yeah.
in the email that I send out to you ladies right after this, I'll provide my phone number.
Okay, yeah, I was just saying, because if I need to call you and say, okay, where do I get this? Where do I get that? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding with you, Alex.
I'm happy to help. I've learned so much, and I'm so excited to graduate. And I take my
Yes.
at the end like in December, so I'm really excited.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah. Nice profession. It sounds like a really nice profession.
A very important profession.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. Sounds
Very-
great.
And again, thank you, my dear friends, for helping Alex with this. It's her education's been so important for her. We were talking the other day, and Alex is now 29, and she's been in school for 23 years straight. Can you believe that?
Wow.
Long time.
Wow.
Yeah, but
Right.
I'm almost there, and I'm super
Oh.
excited.
Well,
Good
you're
luck.
still very young, so you have lots of time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Well, you guys have a wonderful
Right.
afternoon.
Thank you very much. God bless you guys. Again,
Thank
thanks a
you.
million.